So Forest turned their attention back to the Europa League, and I think this is one of the most important games of the season so far. Welcome to the preview for Forest versus Malmo. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to the video as we're going to go through everything to do with Forest versus Malmo. Coming up, we'll talk you through the predicted Forest lineup, talk about some injuries. We'll of course touch on the history of this game. And I'll give you my predictions because this is an extremely important match for me this season. In fact, I'd say it's the most important game of the season so far. Now, some will say the next game is always the most important, but Forest are, for me, in a must-win situation here. So if you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new. And don't forget to check out Football Prizes. They got so many Forest giveaways right now. You can go and win this signed, custom, framed Ryan Yates shirt. It's got LEDs. And on top of that, 2,999 Insta prize wins. And when I say Insta prize wins, I'm talking about 2 tickets for box hospitality against Spurs. We're definitely winning that one. You can get £250 cash Insta. You can get the Hudson-Odoi and Ndoi combo signed framed shirts. You can get so many others. Just go check it out by scanning this QR code or clicking on the link pinned in the comments. And this, I have one here from Football Prizes. I absolutely love it. So go check that out. Okay, let's jump into this. Now, it wouldn't be a preview against Malmo if we didn't touch on the history. The great important goal by Trevor Francis. Say more recent times. I mean, you'd have to be 24 or older to remember, right? But we played them in our last run under Frank Clark. And Forest went through on away goals. And the winning goal was scored by my favourite player of all time, Brian Roy. Lovely finish as well. So there is some nice, memorable history with this game. I feel that we should go into this game with a feel-good factor. Now, I believe, and I'll lean on the Swedish trees out there to tell me, but the Swedish season has finished and they finished 6th in the league. So that finished, I think, early November. So that's probably a good thing for Forest. Now, you could argue maybe they're rested up and what have you, but I don't think they've played many games since then outside of the Europa League matches. So Forest could be getting a cold team here. They finished 6th in their league, so the only way they will qualify for European football next season, I believe, is if they win the Europa League. So there are a lot of good signs and good omens here for Forest on this game. Now, let's get into the team and have a quick chat about what we can and can't do, because remember, there are players that can't play in the Europa League, and those unfortunately are the likes of Hutchinson, Jair Cunha, who else? You can't play Taiwo. So we've got to remember these as we come to those decisions. And the other thing we need to remember is that Sean Dyche said that he will look to rotate because we got Brighton on Sunday and we got Wolves midweek. It's a packed schedule right now for Forest. So when I'm looking at this team, I guess the first question is, will he rest Matt Sells? Now, keepers are a bit different. You don't necessarily need to rest a keeper. I think keepers physically are fine when they're playing. It's more a mentality strain. I think Sells, after a good game against Liverpool, I'd actually keep him in because I think this is quite an important game. But you may see him bringing in John Victor. In terms of the defence, I think we will see some rotation here. I think Murillo will be rested, and I think we will see Morato coming in. I thought this pairing did quite well against Graz last time out in Europe, so I could see that sticking. Now, the one person I would like to see rested is Nico Williams, but with really nothing there as options at left back, I don't know if he gets rested. I think the rest will be played. And you don't want to over-rotate, you know what I'm saying? Like, this game, as I said, is important. We do need to win it. I think though Sangare will be rested, and I think Ryan Yates will come in. Anderson needs some rest as well. There's a lot of players that do need rest. And then Dominguez, I don't think will start this one. He's still coming off the back of an injury. You don't want to overload him with too many minutes. So I think Hudson-Odoi comes in here on the left-hand side. And I think Jesus will definitely start unless he goes for Callum Mwendo. And one person who may get a little respite is Gibbs White, because it's about time. It's about time that McAtee stepped up. I think McAtee is still a very good player. I still think he can create problems. I still think, the player doesn't go rubbish overnight. I know his performances haven't been great, but this could be a good time for him to set his mark against, if I'm being respectful about it, easy opposition. I mean that respectfully. This could be a good game for him to get some minutes and get himself up to speed. Will he rest Ndoye? If he does, then who's really coming in? I feel like we may see Bakwa very close to full fitness again soon, so maybe see him on the bench. But if he wanted to overdo the rotation, he could take Milenkovic out and bring Bolly in, for example. But the squad is quite thin in terms of rotation. I don't want him to overdo it, but there are certain players that need to be rested. The way I personally would do it, I would go for I would start a strong squad, win the game quickly, and then rest them. If Forest are 2 or 3-0 up at half time, I take Anderson off at half time. I don't even hesitate about it. 45 minutes, we need him fresh for the Brighton game. And that's what this game should be about. Forest should win this game. Malmo are in the 30s in the Europa League table. They have been struggling. Their chances of qualifying are very slim. So this should be like a training game for them, really. And Forest should be the ones focused, coming off the back of 2 wins, coming off the back of, what are we, undefeated in 4, I think. So the feel-good factor is starting to pick up. And Forest need to cement this. And this would give us a good springboard into the Brighton game at the weekend. In terms of the injuries, we don't know about Chris Wood. He's been re-scanned. There's talks that he's out until December, so I don't expect to see him in there. Douglas Luiz, I don't think will be risked. Bakwa, I don't think will be risked on this one either. This is a very, very important game for Forest. We have to win. We can't have what we did against Graz with that draw. I know Gibbs White missed the penalty. I know, we didn't create too much. But I think we've kicked on a bit since that game. So I'm quietly confident about this one. I think Forest needs to come out the blocks quick, get a couple of goals, put Malmo to bed nice and early, and get like a 2-3-0 lead at halftime, and then finish the game 3-1. So that's going to be my prediction. I'm going Forest 3, Malmo 1. I'm excited about this game, but I want to know what your predictions are. So get them in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, please make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Check out Football Prizes. The prizes are fantastic there. The link's pinned in the comments. And we'll see you for the game tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.